let's be honest for a second. The goal of going viral seems to be like the only goal on social media at the moment. Hell, I've even heard it for this channel. The amount of people that say to me, oh, you've got a YouTube channel. And I'm like, yeah, it's been great. I've just been starting it. I've been really having fun. And they say, have you gone viral yet? As if that is the only thing that matters. We've all seen it. You're there grinding away, pouring your heart into your content, and your views are just flat. Meanwhile, there's some other creator, seemingly just popped up out of nowhere, posts one video and it explodes, goes viral and gets millions of views. And the thought is just unavoidable. You start to think to yourself, if I had just one hit, just one post that went viral, then my views would go up, opportunities would just flood in, everything would change and my life would get so much better. But what if that one hit wonder isn't the solution, but instead, it's actually the problem? The entire process of going viral seems like the ultimate shortcut. It promises scale, speed, and success seemingly overnight. But that very thing that makes it so appealing is actually also what makes it so dangerous. Most creators are concentrating so hard on trying to catch this lightning in a bottle that they don't see it as corroding their brand slowly but surely. They're chasing a ghost and burning themselves out, ultimately for a spike in attention that ultimately leads nowhere. This obsession isn't building you a foundation, it's setting you up for failure. So in this video, we're going to talk to you about the reality of viral content and why chasing it is a trap, and the real part of sustainable long-term growth that won't make you burn out. The first way that this obsession harms your brand is that it turns your content strategy into somewhat of a lottery ticket. The damage is subtle at first, but then it compounds until your brand is almost unrecognizable. The allure of a viral moment is definitely super powerful. Every platform, every guru, and every headline sells this dream of the overnight success. How I got 10 million views of this one simple trick. It's like this clever bypass to skip the queue for that slow, hard work of building an audience from scratch. And when you're struggling to get any traction, when you're consistently putting out good quality content and hardly any people are watching it, this little trick to just go viral and magically blow up overnight just seems too irresistible to resist sometimes. So you start to compromise. You start analysing trends that have absolutely nothing to do with your niche, your expertise, or your audience wants or interests. You see like a meme or you see a trending audio and you think, how can I use that for my business? How can I twist it so that it sort of fits in with my niche and what I do? So your focus shifts from trying to serve your audience, the one you genuinely should be caring about and who are putting in the time and effort to tune into you, to trying to please an algorithm that doesn't give a rat's ass about how you do, and it's just picking content that serves them best. And at the end of the day, the algorithm is something that you just cannot control. Instead, you're no longer a creator, you're somewhat of a gambler, just betting that this is the one that's gonna pay off. Eventually, it's just gonna go viral. But this is not a strategy. This is an addiction to a game that's rigged against you. And even if you win and you go viral, the consequences of that viral post may actually be way worse than if you just stayed small in the first place. So let's imagine you do it. You catch that viral wave. You get 1 million views, 5 million views. Your follower count skyrockets. It's everything you dreamed of. For a day, it feels incredible. But then by the time a week passes, this weird anxiety creeps in. And your new content, the stuff you actually care about, that you're now putting out there to your bigger, better audience that you're so happy they're gonna see your final stuff, it's bombing. And this is known as the viral hangover. And it stems from 3 critical side effects. The first and foremost is audience poisoning. The core issue is a fundamental mismatch. So let's say you're a financial advisor and you build really detailed content about long-term investment strategies. And one day you decide to jump on a trend and do some silly dance and it blows up and you get 100,000 followers overnight. So the problem is, these 100,000 people followed you for some 15-second dance routine that was a trend and they thought, oh, this person's into trends, I'll follow them. not for a nuanced analysis of a diversified portfolio. So when you post your next video on, say, retirement planning, the platform then serves it to this massive new audience. But what do? They scroll right past it. So your engagement rate tanks, your watch time falls off a cliff, and you've just sent a massive signal to the algorithm that your own audience doesn't even care and is not interested in your own content. So in effect, that one viral video has essentially poisoned the well, and it makes it way harder for every single other video you produce from now on to actually reach the people who want to see it and actually care for your content. The second killer is losing your voice and spiraling into burnout. So this is more of a creative trap. After one viral hit, the pressure to replicate that is immense. And plus, like, you want to do it. You think, I've done it before, I want to do it again. It was exhilarating. Instead of saying, what does my audience want to see and what do they need? You're shifting your mindset to say, what's the next trend that I can jump on? This destroys the trust of your original audience. They came to you for your original opinions, your views, and they want to trust you because you're an expert in what you do. But now they just see you chasing clout like everyone else on the internet. That inauthenticity is a brand killer, and it puts you straight on this creative treadmill that you just can't get off. You're constantly reacting instead of actually creating, which is the fastest way to burnout. You're no longer driven by your passion or your mission. Instead, it's the desperate need to stay relevant for another 24 hours. Finally, the third danger is this hollow numbers and a false sense of progress. So this is a strategic blind spot. One viral post basically can give you these beautiful vanity metrics that everyone so craves. It's a big following, loads of likes and comments on your post, and it feels great. These numbers, these view counts, they look impressive on the surface, but it's all an illusion. Because these random low intent figures, that's the worst kind of traffic that you can actually get for your content. Just think about it. Which one do you think is more valuable for your brand? 5,000 views on people who actually want what you're offering, who are looking for a solution that you provide, or 1 million people who are mildly amused at you for 15 seconds before then just scrolling on and forgetting that you ever existed? The answer is clear. Chasing virality makes you focus on the wrong data. So you celebrate views instead of focusing on real connection and loyalty, leaving you with a brand that looks big, but is actually built on completely nothing. So we've now dismantled the fantasy. We've seen how this chase basically poisons your unique voice, silences your audience, and leaves you just chasing empty stats. So if you've been feeling that pressure and are ready to start building something real, then please do hit that like and subscribe button below. It really helps other creators find this message too, to help them. So now let's shift from the problem to the actual solution. How do you build a brand that lasts? So the alternative to chasing virality isn't to just give up on growth completely. I know I'm doing a series on small teams, big profits, but I'm not saying you just completely give up on growth. What I'm saying is that you shift what that growth looks like. So you pursue a different type of growth, one that is intentional, practical, and durable. So you essentially stop buying lottery tickets and start building real assets. Yes, this approach is way slower, but the results are much, much longer lasting, and that's what you want. So before you create anything else, you need to define exactly who you are for and how you can help them. So if you then try to create content for everybody, you essentially connect with nobody. You need to be like a specific magnet for one particular type of person rather than a random net for this large crowd. Define your ideal audience with obsessive detail. What are they trying to achieve? What keeps them up at night? How can I help them solve their problems? My content, for example, is for those entrepreneurs who are sick of the bullshit out there. As I said, all this stuff about going viral, none of them like that. They are the ones who want to run a legitimate business. They don't care about being famous. They don't care about being an influencer or having big followings. They actually just want to have a really good lifestyle. They want plenty of money for their loved ones. They want to have lots of free time to spend it with their loved ones. And they want to just feel happy and healthy and live a good, long life. They don't care about the stress and the big teams and the PR and all that kind of stuff. They want to do what they can to grow their business, but those are the people that I want to attract. And that is only going to be a small proportion of the people out there who call themselves entrepreneurs. But that's okay, because it means that when I do tap into the right audience, and you know, a lot of the time I'm not with the right audience and then I get my negative comments, but when I do tap into the right audience, it really resonates with them. So that's why every piece of content that I create is focused on those people. I can ignore everyone else and I just focus on those people who I can truly help. And when you have that level of clarity, your business becomes irresistible to the right people. Remember, you're not looking for 1 million followers. You're looking for, say, 1,000 super fans who are truly loyal to you and your brand. A viral video is like a flash in the pan, but a library of high value content is a long-term appreciating asset. And the core of this strategy is evergreen content. So this means focusing on foundational guides, in-depth tutorials, and timeless frameworks that help solve a recurring problem for your audience. So for example, a video called The Complete Guide to Filming Professional Videos on Your Phone will probably be relevant in several years to come. Sure, you might have to update it a little bit depending on the type of phone, but a lot of the content will still be there. But a video on the latest meme or trend will probably be DOA a week later. When you build a library, a viewer may stumble upon that video, and then they find another video, and another video, and another. And then this kind of creates this binge session thereon with your content, which inevitably helps you build authority and trust and that connection because they've been watching you over and over again for several minutes. And on that note, watch time is the true currency of these platforms. Their entire business model depends on keeping users engaged. So just for comparison, a video with say 10,000 views and an average watch time of 8 minutes is actually better for the algorithm in your channel than a viral video that has an average watch time of just 15 seconds. So your job is to earn every second. And that means starting off with a really powerful hook that drives them in with a promise, and then making sure that you deliver on that promise. You've got great analytics with all of these platforms now, so dive into them, check the data, see where your audience drops off and try to figure out why. Plugging these leaks in your content is the single best way to signal value to your algorithm. There is so much similar content out there right now, it's ridiculous. It's an ocean of overwhelming material, and the only way to stand out, the only thing that's unique is you. It's your voice, your story, your perspective. People may come for the information, but they stay because of the person delivering that information. This doesn't have to mean oversharing. I know there's a big thing about vulnerability out there, but it just means be human. So of course, share your wins to show how good you are at what you do, but also share what you've learned from your mistakes. This transparency builds a connection that no trends ever could match. And when your audience feels connected to your content and connected to you, they stop being just a viewer and they become part of your community. So finally, none of this works if you just burn out in 6 months. So sustainable growth requires sustainable systems. And this doesn't mean you have to be consistent in terms of posting every day, but it does mean being consistent in picking a rhythm that suits you, where you show up similar times every week with the similar sort of tone of voice and content that serves your audience. So this is where you have to start working smarter. And I have a lot of content on this if you want to go back and check it out, but it's all about creating systems. So you want to batch your content creation. You want to have templates for scripting and editing. You want to systematize the boring parts so that you can save all your time and energy for your creative work. And critically, you need to have a repurposing strategy. So you need to turn your long form content into shorts, into reels, into TikToks, into putting it on different platforms, LinkedIn, Pinterest even, and you need to spread it out. And this maximizes the impact of your efforts with your content without being on that constant content treadmill 24/7. So let's bring this all together. The content out there says that one viral moment can change your life, can make or break your career, but the likelihood is it's more likely going to break it. So chasing virality is like a tool for a moment, not a strategy in business. It's a shortcut that essentially leads you off a cliff. So the creators that will win in the long run aren't the ones that just get lucky, which is essentially what going viral is. It's the ones who decide to build methodically, They combine creating a really smart strategy with serving a very specific audience that they genuinely want to help. A small, dedicated community that trusts you is worth way more than a million fleeting views. So stop chasing a lightning in a bottle, stop trying to go viral, and start making a brand that lasts. Your brand is your legacy, so please treat it that way.